threats that we're going to break down. First and foremost, in the DNA and the birth of this country is institutional racism. Chattel slavery was the first institution of racism introduced that, although was no longer lawful, has long-standing consequences that we still experience today, that we're going to talk more about. These are the invisible forces that I speak of. I use this metaphor that I borrowed from, I forget this amazing Black woman out of Minnesota, I believe. But when it comes to institutional racism, for those of you who may be familiar with Monopoly, you have to think about it as Monopoly. So when you're playing the game, the goal is to get as much property as you can, cover that property, make money from it, have a monopoly and so forth, and kind of build up this economic wealth. And we know that in order to do that, sometimes part of that game is when you go around the board, you pass go. And when you pass go, every time you pass go, what you do, you get $200. When you pass go, it says every time you pass go, you get $200, right? So what institutional racism did for Black folks, it says that for 400 years, you're going to continue to go around the board. You're going to work on behalf of the oppressor. You're not going to collect $200. Instead, you're going to get that $200 and give it over to your oppressor. They are going to accumulate wealth, but you're going to continue to go around the board and not obtain wealth, right? So then you have the Emancipation Proclamation, you have slavery as an institution abolished, but you still have 400 years of going around the board and not passing go. And just because this institution is not present doesn't mean there's not long-standing implications. Okay, so not only have you not been able to pass go and collect your money, and you don't have economic wealth, you also don't have access to health care. You also don't have access to housing. You also don't have access to the same developmental opportunities or the educational opportunities, which then becomes generational impact. So when we say institutional racism as the formative racism within this country that still has implications, I want that to be an invisible force that's very visible.